The Browns' QB nightmare isn't over. It's just getting started. This isn't a rebuild anymore. This is a franchise stuck in a loop they can't escape.
The owner came out and said Deshaun Watson has a great chance to redeem himself. Is that, should I read it? That's a non-belief in Shedeur.
Right there. That's not just a quote. That's a warning sign.
The fact that Deshaun Watson could wind up being the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, I think that's absolutely on the table.
Not possible, not unlikely, on the table, which means this isn't over, not even close. Adam Schefter pours cold water on Browns' NFL draft quarterback speculation.
If he's anywhere near when he was a good football player, he was like MVP.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
And that's the expectation hanging over this entire situation.
Shedeur's dad is one of the greatest professional athletes of all time. He said, hey, when you're on a team, you fucking live there. You know, that's yeah. You're a fifth rounder. You probably don't have a lot to say. Remember, he was there before spring workouts started, doing charity stuff. It's like he understands what a professional athlete is. You know, I think Shedeur has a very huge head start and all that. So obviously, he had a lot more attention because of who his dad was.
So this isn't just about performance. This is legacy, pressure, and expectations colliding in real time. Cleveland thought the hard part was behind them. They thought the Deshaun Watson era was winding down on its own terms. They thought Shedeur Sanders was going to waltz in, take the keys, and give a broken fan base something to actually believe in again. They thought the NFL draft was going to be their reset button. They thought wrong. Because instead of clarity, they've walked straight into chaos.
It would be a wild comeback story.
Yes.
Wild? Sure. Likely. That's a completely different conversation.
Deshaun Watson arriving as a Cleveland Browns star quarterback could happen this upcoming season. Is that real?
And the scary part? The answer is yes. But nothing in Cleveland is ever that simple. Because right now, the Browns are staring down one of the most chaotic quarterback situations in the entire league. And somehow, impossibly, they might be about to make it even more complicated. This isn't just a QB battle. This is an identity crisis. Here's where things stand. The Cleveland Browns holds 2 first-round picks in this year's NFL draft, 6th overall and 24th overall. 2 chances to reshape the future of a franchise that has been quarterback cursed for decades. 2 opportunities to finally get this right. 2 chances, and somehow they might miss both. And according to ESPN insider Adam Schefter, they're not going to use either one on a quarterback. Let that sink in for a second. No reset, no fresh start, no escape plan. Schefter made it crystal clear when he said,
again, I think back to last year at this time, everybody had Shedeur Sanders going in the first round.
And I'll say this, they have 2 first-round picks. They're picking, I believe, 6 and 24. And I don't think they're going to go quarterback in round 1 at all.
That one sentence didn't just change the plan, it exposed it. That one sentence just rewrote the entire Browns offseason narrative and raised about 100 new questions in the process. Questions Cleveland might not want to answer. To understand why this is such a big deal, you have to understand what Cleveland has been dealing with for the past few years. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. Deshaun Watson. The name alone is enough to make Browns fans wince, because this isn't just a bad contract. It might be the most damaging decision this franchise has ever made. Back when Cleveland gave Deshaun Watson that historic contract, 5 years, $230 million, fully guaranteed, it was supposed to be the move that changed everything. The Browns were supposed to be a playoff contender. Watson was supposed to be the franchise savior. Instead, it became an anchor. That is not how this story went, not even close. Since signing that deal, Watson has appeared in just 19 games. 19 games for $230 million. Let that really sink in. On a $230 million contract, injuries derailed him, controversies surrounded him, and the team around him suffered through one of the most painful stretches in recent memory. And yet, somehow, they're still here. And when he did play, the numbers weren't exactly lighting the world on fire. In fact, they raised more questions than answers. In those 19 games, Watson completed 61.2% of his passes for 3,365 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Those aren't franchise savior numbers. Those are we have a problem numbers. Cleveland's fan base has been patient, brutally, painfully patient. Now their patience is being tested all over again, and this time, they might not have any left. Enter Shedeur Sanders, the hope, the reset, the "this fixes everything" guy. The buzz coming out of the pre-draft process was electric. Shedeur, son of the legendary Deshaun Sanders, was projected by many analysts to be a top 5 pick. The expectations weren't just high, they were unrealistic. Cleveland ended up with him, and after one rookie season, the results were complicated. Complicated is a polite way of putting it. Sanders completed 56.6% of his passes, threw for 1,400 yards, added 7 touchdowns, and tossed 10 interceptions. That's not a breakout. That's a warning sign. Is that surprising for a rookie? Not really, but Cleveland doesn't have the luxury of patience. Right now. That's the real problem. Development takes time, and Cleveland is out of time. And here's the thing nobody saw coming. The quarterback battle shaping up in Cleveland isn't just Sanders versus the future. It's Sanders versus Watson right now. Past versus future, money versus potential, and Cleveland is stuck in the middle. Schefter dropped a bombshell when he weighed in on the quarterback situation directly.
I think that's been one of the least talked about biggest stories going into the season. The fact that Deshaun Watson could wind up being the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. I think that's absolutely on the table. I think that it feels like it's moving towards that right now.
Read that again. It feels like it's moving towards Watson starting. Not possible, not unlikely, moving towards it. That's not a rumor. That's not a hot take from some random analyst with an agenda. That is one of the most connected insiders in the entire sport, telling you that Deshaun Watson, the guy who has played 19 games in multiple seasons, is trending towards being the Week 1 starter for the Browns 90s. 19 games, and still the plan. Let that sink in. How is that possible? How does this keep happening? At what point does this stop being optimism and start being denial? Browns owner Jimmy Haslam stepped to the podium at the NFL annual league meeting and made it even more official. He didn't hedge, he didn't deflect, he went all in.
Now, Deshaun has a great chance, fresh start, offensive-minded coach who has, in his past, been able to work with all kinds of different quarterbacks and make them successful. So Deshaun has a great chance to do that now.
A great chance, not a competition, not we'll see. A great chance.
A great chance. He said Deshaun Watson has a great chance to be the Week 1 starter. The same Watson whose Browns career has been defined more by absence than performance. The same Watson whose body of work in Cleveland has been defined more by absence than anything he's done on a football field. The owner stood in front of reporters and told the world this man, this $230 million investment, has a great chance. Not we need to evaluate, not best man wins, they're already leaning. If you're a Browns fan, how do you hear that and not lose your mind? Because this isn't just frustrating, this feels predetermined. And this is where the story takes a sharp turn. Because it's not just fans questioning this anymore. Now you've got franchise voices stepping in, and they're not being subtle about it. Former Browns All-Pro Hanford Dixon didn't hold back when talking about this situation. He said it plainly, Deshaun hasn't done a damn thing for this football team. It's gotta be Shedeur Sanders' job to lose. That's not analysis, that's a verdict. And when a guy who understands this franchise at that level says something like that, it hits differently. Because now this isn't just media speculation, this is internal belief starting to crack. And here's the uncomfortable part. Everything he's saying, the numbers actually back it up. Deshaun Watson, 19 games, 9-10 record, multiple injuries, $230 million. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders, 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, Pro Bowl nod. One is being paid like a superstar, the other is being treated like a question mark. So now you've got a split inside this organization. Ownership backing Watson, a Browns legend backing Sanders, a coaching staff refusing to commit. That's not just a quarterback battle anymore. That's a power struggle. But here's where the story gets even more layered. It's not just Watson versus Shedeur Sanders. There's a third name in this room, Dillon Gabriel. And according to the latest intel,
Gabriel isn't even showing up. And that's where this situation goes from messy to concerning. Schefter said it plainly.
Shedeur's had some experience. Dylan Gabriel not being there, like that, there's a message there. The fact that he's not there, I think.
You know what it is?
Yeah, not really thrilled there.
Shedeur's dad is one of the greatest professional athletes of all time. He said, hey, when you're on a team, you fucking live there.
A message. Not an accident. A message. Think about that for a second. You are a professional quarterback. You are on a roster fighting for your NFL future. You have a genuine opportunity to compete for a starting job, and you're not in the building. That's not just absence, that's a red flag. Meanwhile, Sanders has been in the facility constantly. Head coach Todd Monken confirmed it. Shedeur has been putting in the work day after day, while Watson made his presence known when Monken first got hired. And Gabriel? Nowhere to be found. One guy grinding, one guy backed by money, one guy missing entirely. That's not just a message about Gabriel's future in Cleveland. That's a window into the organizational culture being built by a new coaching staff that is paying very close attention to who wants it and who doesn't. And right now, the signals couldn't be more different. Now, here's what Monken actually said about how this quarterback battle is going to work, and it's important. He confirmed it's an open competition, no predetermined outcome. But listen carefully, because this is where it gets interesting. But he also made clear the reps won't be split evenly. There will be a QB1 from the jump who gets the lion's share of practice snaps, and that designation will be based on where things ended last season and what the staff has seen in the past. So yes, it's open, but not exactly even. Where things ended last season? That was Shedeur Sanders starting the final 7 games. So on paper, Sanders enters this competition with the edge. On paper. But Schefter's reporting suggests Watson is right there, which means the edge might not matter as much as people think. And Monken left the door wide open. Those rep distributions can change daily based on what he sees on the practice field, which means this could flip fast. This is genuinely one of the most unpredictable quarterback situations in the NFL right now. No clear answer, no safe bet. Just a 3-man room where one guy isn't showing up, one guy has a $230 million contract working in his favor, and one guy is fighting to prove last year wasn't a fluke. And somehow, the most expensive option might still be the least convincing. Now, layer in Schefter's draft reporting and things get even messier. If Cleveland isn't taking a quarterback in round 1, and Schefter made that about as clear as it gets, then the plan at the top of this draft has nothing to do with fixing the position that has haunted this franchise for 30-plus years. No quarterback again. They've got the 6th pick. 6th. That's premium real estate on draft night. That's where franchises change direction. That's where you take a generational talent that changes your team's trajectory. And the Browns are apparently going to look somewhere else than quarterback with that selection, which tells you everything about how they view this situation. Maybe they're betting on the offensive line. Maybe they're targeting a pass rusher. Maybe they go best player available and hope everything falls into place. Hope being the key word. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If Deshaun is genuinely your plan at quarterback, if that's the direction this organization is moving, then no amount of offensive line depth or pass rush help is going to save you. Because if the quarterback isn't right, nothing else matters. Deshaun at this stage, with this injury history, against this competition, that is not a championship caliber plan. That's a gamble. That's hope and pray dressed up in ownership spin. And what about Shedeur's development? There's a version of this story where Sanders takes a massive leap in year 2, where the offensive system finally clicks, where that arm talent shows up consistently on Sundays. That version is possible. It's not fantasy, but it requires patience, something Cleveland doesn't have. But there's another version, and this one is more troubling, where Deshaun wins the starting job out of camp, Shedeur barely plays meaningful snaps, and Cleveland's best shot at genuine quarterback development gets buried on the bench while they chase a playoff run that never materializes. Chasing wins and losing the future in the process. That version has happened before, in Cleveland, multiple times. History isn't just repeating, it's looping. The cycle is real, and nobody inside that organization seems fully committed to breaking it. So here's the question Cleveland cannot escape. When does loyalty to a contract become loyalty to failure? Because that line, Cleveland might have already crossed it.